Let me start introduce myself. I'm Yiying Chen. I've been doing data science analytics for over a decade. I began my career at a bigger company like Walmart, LinkedIn, and I transitioned to like startups, including Confluent and also Ventap. So throughout the years, I have worked closely with both the product team and also go-to-market functions. So although the stakeholder change, the company change, the industry, those company are different, and then the size of the company is also different, and the tools we use is also vastly different. Like big company, we tend to use internal tools, while as startups, smaller companies, we use a lot of SaaS solutions like applications like Metabase. But the fundamental goal of my work is always the same, which is to help business grow and scale with data. And then the way to do it is really to empower people, our customers, with the data at their fingertips and with the right technology. And then Metabase is one of the key technologies to enable that component. So while I was at Confluent, we just started building out our data stack infrastructure, and then we are evaluating a bunch of tools. And that's when we discovered Metabase, and then we brought Metabase to Confluent as a BI tool, and it has been a total game changer. And then during my tenure at Confluent, the company grew tremendously in 4 years, and then Metabase played a key role. So that's why I'm super excited to share with you my journey, how I leverage Metabase, and also how you can leverage Metabase to turn your data into insights. So before we jump into the demo today, I want to maybe also housekeeping. Feel free to ask any questions. We want to make this session very interactive. And then so let me start by asking the audience, when you think about dashboard, whether viewing a dashboard or whether you are building a dashboard, what makes a good dashboard, right? What are the key components it has, and what does good dashboard usually look like? Anyone, feel free to type in the chat or shout out loud. Yes, dashboard must be self-explanatory. What else? Right, clear. What questions you want to answer with very clear visual structure, easy to understand, tailored specific to audience. Yeah, those are really, really good answers. And that's also what I'm trying to showcase today. So the good dashboard is really you're trying to tell a story, tell the audience, right? Like what are the insights you're trying to convey, either help people understand the overall health of the business, but also pinpoint which aspects of the business are doing well versus not well, and using the dashboard more as a starting point to help people to dive deeper. And so that's why I think it's really important to identify the key metrics. So I wanted to spend a few minutes to quickly talk about this parametric framework, which is introduced by Silicon Valley investor in 2007. Is a widely adopted framework to help identify the key metrics throughout the entire customer journey to analyze user behavior effectively. And so it starts with acquisition and involves activation, retention, referral, and revenue. I'm sure many of you have heard about this and or use it in your day-to-day work. The idea of this framework is really trying to focus to a narrow set of metrics instead of a set of vanity metrics that does not directly impact the business or drive the growth. So let me start by just talk about each stage one by one. So it started with acquisition, as it's also called awareness. That's where people identify your company, the product. They come to your website and then trying to understand what your product is trying to do, and then they may start do a free trial or they may request demo. So that's where you start generating leads. And once customers start using your product, that's where we are moving to the activation part, where we want users to get value from the product for the first time. So that's why we want them to use the key features, and we also want to measure how quickly people use the key features. So that's sort of the concept where, hey, like you heard about the term, right? Aha moment. Once they experience the value of the product for the first time, we want them to form a habit to use the product. And then activation is very important. It could be the first impression of your product, but if it didn't do well, it could also be the last impression. And Facebook have this famous metric, right? Like having 7 friends in 10 days when you start signing up for Facebook. Moving on, retention. So for the audit, right, for the users who are already activated, do they keep coming back to engage with your product to gain more value? Are your product able to keep your users engaged over time? So that's where, right, we don't want the product to become a leaky bucket. We want this to with new customer joining, with existing customer retaining. That's how we can have a healthy business and user base growth over time. And then the other aspect is to measure how your product itself to drive this viral loop by referral. If user really like the product, do they like your product enough to recommend it to other people? That could either through the word of mouth, it could also through in-product experience. Where if you think about Slack, maybe just initially just a couple of team members start using Slack, then they invite people on their team to use Slack to collaborate. And then they also, other people in the organization in another department may start leveraging Slack as well. That's sort of where you have this viral loop, and then the product just grow itself. And then the last component is the revenue, right? How your product service is able to monetize your user base, and people are willing to pay for your product, and then they are not only they pay on continuous base, but will we be able to expand those customers to sell more services, and then so they are paying us more and more. So that's the concept of NRR, net dollar retention. Some of you may heard about. So this is the framework is trying to give a holistic view to measure the overall health, and you can measure your business health in different stage, and also set the business target at each stage to see which part of the business is doing well and which part need more attention. And then that also helps facilitate collaboration across marketing team, product team, and sales team. Cool. With that, let's build a dashboard in Metabase. I have a demo dashboard I built already. And then, so this will be the thing I will show you today, how this is being built. But I wanted the audience to, take a few moments to explore the dashboard and let me know what you like about the dashboard, what stands out, and what you think can be improved Margaret, if you can share the link with the audience, that would be great. And then just to set the context, right? Assuming we have right product-led business model, we have a product where people can start a free trial, and then we convert them to paid on a monthly subscription base. And then this is all fake, like based on like synthetic data we generated, but it should be right, like very widely applicable to other right business model. And then whether you are a growth marketer, you are working on product, this should all be relevant. So take a look, and then let us, yeah, feel free to type in the chat what stands out. Yeah, I see there are a lot of comments in the chat. People mention, hey, instead of compare to the previous months, I want to compare, right? Do a year-over-year comparison. Yeah, I think that's valid. If you look at, right, the earning calls for public company, they always do, right, like quarter, this quarter compared to last year, the same quarter. I think the context here is if we are right, a startup or company with fast growth, we want to see sequential growth month over month. But yeah, like with Metabase, it's pretty easy to configure. If you look at the dashboard here, I group things by month. We can easily change it to group by quarter, and then we can have the data goes back way further. That's and then we can also do year-over-year comparison as well. I see people mention, right, like the quick overview where we provide executive summary of the key metrics. And then okay. I just wanted to the audience to get familiar with the dashboard we'll be building. But let me just give a quick overview as well. So as I mentioned, this is based on a like self-serve business model where we acquire customer by people signing up free trial. We want them to convert to paid, and then we also want to see, hey, how many customers are using our product and how much revenue they generated. So that's why like we have this 4 key metric on the top, and people mention, hey, AR may not be a product metrics. I think it's not necessarily right. This have to be used by product. This means to facilitate cross-functional collaboration. And then that's where we want to have more comprehensive view. And even if you think about right top of funnel growth where we have the acquisition, but acquisition not just about right getting the volume, get more people signing up. At the end of the day, right, we want to acquire a customer who retain, who converted to paid and who retain. So the quality of the right the marketing acquisition effort also matters. So there's collaboration between the marketing team and the product team when we think about right the activation part. So with that, let's jump right time to build. The way usually right like when I start from the scratch, I start thinking about, I follow this framework, the AARR metric framework I mentioned earlier, starting with acquisition, right? Let's think about, right, what's the key metric? So here, the key metric I think about is the number of signups. And I want to see how it grows over time. I want to also explore, right, which channel those signups come from. And so this is the data we have, and then just also a quick overview of the data model here. Each row represents a user, and then which is right the UID is the unique identifier for user, and then some of the column here identify the key step along the funnel and the timestamp when they did the action. Like for example, for the first user here, they enter the sign up flow, meaning hey, they trying to input their information and then register for free trial, and then there are several steps along the way where they have to get their email verified, they have to choose which product tier they want to use, and then they need to input their credit card information to set up the payment. Once that succeeded, then the free trial started. So that's the created ad. And then once they do the free trial, we give them a short period of time. And then if they don't cancel, they convert to paid and then start paying us on a monthly basis. So that's the cancel ad. And then there are some metadata about the information. What are the use case, why they are interested in our product, which country, industry, some other information. We also have, once they use the product, we'll measure whether it got activated in the product itself, and then whether they converted to paid, and how much annual value they are paying us. So starting with acquisition, right? Like we wanted to just get a quick check on the number of sign-up we got on a monthly basis. So the way I do it is we click the new button on the top right of the corner in any Metabase screen, and then I will create a question. So question is basically just a starting point for a visualization. Think about, right, any dashboard or charts you're trying to build is to answer a question. So we'll select our data, which is the full funnel data I just showed earlier. And then the summarize is where we do aggregation on the metrics. And then so here we'll just count number of rows in that column. We'll group by created ad. That's when the customer really sign up, they indicate they already sign up. And then we can also have the flexibility to choose whether we want to break down the data either on weekly basis, monthly basis, or even daily basis. Here, I would just use months to get started. And then for volume, we also can choose different visualization type. For this, I usually prefer a bar chart. Like a line chart could work as well. And then there are, like now we can see, hey, on a monthly basis, we roughly get 400 to 600 signups, and then it's sort of growing gradually. And then let's format this chart a little bit. There are a lot of configuration we can do with Metabase. Here, I want to rename it to signups, we want to be clear with what the metric we are trying to show. That's good. We can also change the format. Here we have just integer, which is good. We don't have to worry. And then we can also do is to show the data points on the chart, so it's easier to get a sense of the exact numbers. And another cool features I like is to we can do a trend line to see whether whether things are going up or going down. And we can also do a goal line. Let's say, hey, we have a goal of, now we are about 618 for each week. Let's say we have a goal to reach 700 weekly sign up at the end of the year. We can put 700 here. So you can see, hey, now you know where we are versus where we want to go, to make things more clear. And then here we have this created, I wanted to change it to a month instead. Okay, let's see why this is still showing count. Okay, it's because of here. So now I'm pretty happy with this chart. What I'm going to do is I'm going to save this chart, and then let's rename it as number of signups. Yeah, just do number of signups for now. And then it will automatically pop a question to ask whether you want to add this to a dashboard. Yes, please. And it will ask which dashboard we want to add to. And then since we are building a new dashboard, so let's create a new dashboard. I will create. Our name is Demo Life. So we have our dashboard here, and then we can save it. And then so now I got the overall volume. I'm also interested to see some breakdown, right? Which channel this drive these signups. So we can leverage this summarize function, and then we can choose different. Here, let's do channel. And then in the display function, or let's see. Okay, we have this breakdown by each month and then different channel. We can choose the different stack bar chart. Let me see why it doesn't show up here. Let me remove this. Oh, yes. Here, I need to add series breakout to add the additional dimension. Let's do a stack bar chart. Okay, cool. Now I get the number of signups and then by different channel, and then it's stacked in a bar. And then It's also pretty cool when you hop over each of the bar chart, it will show you for each breakout what percentage that accounts for. Um, so let's save this. Since I think I want to use this to replace the original question, so I will just keep this default setting. And then let's go to our demo live dashboard. It should automatically refresh. And now we have this number of sign up bar chart. Um, okay, with that, let's move on to the next chart, which is so now let's get we get sense of the overall volume, right? Number of signups. I'm also interested in seeing the percentage of sign up for different product tier. So we have both a basic tier. We also, or let me go back to the dashboard itself. So this is the chart I was talking about, right? Not only like after getting the overall volume, also want to see how um, right, the percentage of people who sign up basic versus using standard our different product tiers. So this is more of 100% stack bar chart. So the way to build it is we can leverage the same sign up chart we built early on and with some tweak. Instead of break down by channel, let's break down by plan. So now we have this chart. All we need to do is to change the stack bar chart. Instead of stacking, we do 100%. So now it will show you how the percentage change over time. Initially, it starts with about less than 13% for the higher tier, the standard plan, and now it increased a little bit. Now it's 23%. So let's save it here. We want to save as a new question. So we keep the original question stay the same. And with the new question, let's rename it to signups by plan next. And then let's add to the dashboard and then demo live. And we can have it side by side. Let me make the dashboard smaller so it can fit in one row. Okay, and now we get like both overall volume, the component of the sign up. Oh, the chart. Maybe let's remove the data points. It's now show value here. Okay, and then let's also remove this label. Okay, awesome. And then the next thing I want to do is maybe go step ahead, like go a step back before people signing up, right? We have this sign up funnel thing I was talking about, right? Where people need to get the email verified. They first need to enter our sign up funnel, and then they need to finish several steps before they can finally sign up. I want to see the conversion of that and also to see the top of funnel growth. So with that, I will do if we go to our original dashboard, so we have this sign up flow conversion rate. The bar chart is the overall volume of number of users who enter our sign up flow, and the line chart is the conversion rate. So what about 55% of users who enter the sign up flow get their email verified. About 20-ish% customer, they choose plan, and then about 7% customer finally set up their payment successfully. So to do that, let's create a new question from scratch using the full funnel data. And then here we will break down by sign up, because that's our starting point. We'll continue to do by month. And then the first is we want to get number of people who enter the sign up flow. So we'll just do a count of rows. And the second one is the conversion rate among the people who sign up, who get their email verified. And then so the way to do it is we can create a custom expression. And then there are some common aggregation function provided by Metabase. So we'll do some math here together. First is for people who get their email verified, is basically whenever the timestamp of email verified. So you can see the column. If you type email, it will there's a tab ahead functionality, which is pretty cool. So if it's not null, then we know they got their email verified, and so we will count. If it's not null, by the total number of people, and then so it says okay. Somehow the null. Let's do the null. Okay, it's good now. Let's give a very self-explanatory name, percentage email verify. And then, so let's look at our data. So each month we have about, last year, December, we have 5,000-ish customers who enter our sign-up flow. And now we have 57% of them get their email verified, more than half. And so let's add more conversion rate. So to make things easier, let's just copy this formula. And then, so the next step of the funnel is choose plan. So we'll name it as percentage choose plan. And then let's also do payment setup. Okay, cool. Now we have the data, and then let's do the visualization. So I want to use a combo chart using both line chart and then bar chart together. So what I would do is I want to use the count as the background bar chart to show the overall volume, the scale of things, and use the line chart to show the different conversion rate. So in the data tab, there's y-axis, and you can see there's 3 dots. If you click the 3 dots, you can configure the display type. So for this, I want to use a line chart. Let's say this is number of users enter the sign up flow. So that's number, which is good. And then for each of the series, we have to do this one by one. This, I want to use a line chart. And then let's also change the format of the data. It's a percentage. And then I want to have 1 decimal. I think a nice cool feature for a Metabase to consider is to be able to automatically detect the data type. So we don't have to do the formatting one by one. Okay. Percentage. Okay, now we have this combo chart. Let's make it like prettier. Like one of the trick I like to use is to make the background bar chart color as light as possible. So you can change the color of each of the series by going to the style tab, or let's use this light teal color. And then let's also add the data point. We're all, I think it's probably in here. Display. Okay, now we have all the values on each of the data points. We have all the conversion rate as line chart, and then users count in the bar chart. You can also configure, right, for each series, if you don't want to show, we can turn this toggle off. Okay, let's also format this chart a little bit by changing the label. For the, let's make it months. Okay, other things looks good. We're good to go. I will save, let's name this as yeah, okay. We have the sign up flow conversion funnel. Let's also try to make the name of each question self-explanatory so people know what the chart about, and then it's also easy for discovery and search. So let's add it to the dashboard. And then, okay, we're good to save it. So I noticed we are we only have 30 minutes left. We probably don't have time to go over each chart. But let me just quickly show some other chart type that I use in the demo dashboard. One thing I want to quickly show is how we do the executive summary, right? Like the session here. It's pretty straightforward. We can just use the same bar chart we built previously. And then let's remove the channel. I just wanted to get a number of sign up each month. And then we can change the visualization type to a trend. So that's where the magic happens. It will automatically shows the latest month and how it compares to previous months. So let's save this and ask a new question. As sign-ups month over month. And then we can add to the dashboard. Let's put it on the top. So once you have multiple chart, this one won't go up automatically. For now, let's just leave this here. And then let's also add some filters. One of the most common filter is the date picker. And then what usually I would like to do is just let's do last 12 months. And then you also get to figure, right, which column each of the underlying chart should be filtered on. Yeah, there's also this pretty cool feature that you can auto connect based on which field you use in the group by function. So, okay, let's save this.